everybody. Merry Christmas week. Happy Hanukkah and season's greetings to everybody all around here. Coach Pitino's here. I'm Terry Meiners. Naturally, you're in Phoenix at this time. We tape this show in advance.
Right.
We don't want to freak everybody. What's he doing there? No. So anyway, we'll talk about the game from the other night and lots more. Preston Knowles is on today's show. First, let's talk about this game that starts in a couple of hours against a chap named Tubby Smith.
Well, Tubby has a team that's 9-0. They play great defense. They shoot the ball well at 2.5 positions. They do a lot of really good things from a fundamental standpoint and they execute extremely well at both ends. Now, we've got to make sure that somehow we can exploit some of their weaknesses. They have a point guard that averages 3.5 assists to 1 turnover, which is outstanding.
They have a kid named Blake, I'm going to get his name right here, Hofbarber, who is coming back. Now, he's been out for a while, but he's a three-point shooter, so you got to make sure your D guys are up.
He had a high school, he was on SportsCenter in high school. I forgot the exact shot he made, but it was an incredible shot. And he was on one of the highlights, top 10 for SportsCenter in high school.
We made SportsCenter. We're going to talk about that later in the show, too. We've had a good week. All right. Let's take a look at a proposed starting lineup for Minnesota. Since Tubby has been shifting guys in and out here, I guess he's just sort of been testing the waters.
Well, he went big last game with Ralph Sampson's son. He put him in the lineup. I don't think he'll do that against us because of our press. Certainly, Tubby's had 10 days off to prepare for this game. And I don't think too many people in this game know my system as well as Tubby. So he's got a slight advantage over us from a mental aspect, and hopefully we'll have an advantage somewhere else.
Tubby knows your system, of course. Tubby, you've seen him through his Kentucky years and his Minnesota things, so he's obviously dealing with a different level of basketball now in the Big East. So how has Tubby changed over the years?
Well, now that he's at Minnesota, he's going to bring a higher brand of basketball. Obviously when you coach at Kentucky, you're coaching at the highest level possible in collegiate basketball. So you now have to go to Minnesota, and you can't automatically get in with every great player. It's not a segue into anyone's living room just because you're Kentucky. Now it's Minnesota, and you really got to cultivate the area geographically, and you've got to look for players that really fit your system from a geographic standpoint that would have an interest in Minnesota. People always want to know, do you stay in contact with the guys? I know you talk to Billy Donovan regularly, Herb, and... We see each other. We stay in most contact, all of us, during the summer months when we're out recruiting. We go out to dinner, we socialize. Obviously, Billy and Herb, I have the longest relationship with. So we stay in close contact because we're always sharing ideas, and any new plays we get, we call each other and we say, I really like this.
All right, well, it's going to be fun to watch you guys. That's just a couple of hours away, of course, on Fox Sports Net. Let's look back, though, at the Austin Peay game now. That's a great team, and like you said, you guys are going to have to D up against these guys.
This is a good basketball team, Austin Peay, because they shoot it well. It not only, you look at 3 things when you judge a basketball team. How much experience they have, how well coached are they from a fundamental standpoint, and if they have the veterans, can they shoot? And if they have all 3 of those things, they're an outstanding basketball team, and Austin Peay possesses all 3 of those characteristics. They're well coached, they shoot it well, and they have veterans.
All right, let's talk about T. Will. There's been a lot of talk about you changing his shot. We're going to show some video of T. Will's work in the Austin Peay game because he was 8 of 13 there, 3 of 6 out of 3-point range, and...
See, even that miss there, it's a soft miss. And, it's going to take some time. It's about 50% better right now, but he still has a ways to go with it. He's become a very good mid-range shooter, and he's obviously someone who could pull up and elevate over someone. You see his shot looks there. I'll explain it when we're off the air exactly what he's doing. I just don't want him to go too much, even though he's improving to the jump shot, because I want him near the basket. I want him creating off the bounce. He's the best passer on the team, so I want to make sure he does that.
How do you...
And you see him bring it up the right-hand side, and that's crucial to keep his shoulders square. Now, basically what he was doing is this. As he brings it up, and you could see my right elbow going out, he brings it on this side of his head, and his elbow's way out, and he releases it this way. So now what we have this bringing up the right-hand side and coming through this way, so the ball goes straight. And it's something he's not used to, because he always wants to bring it to the left-hand side. And right now we have it right in the middle, and we're going to move it just slightly over a little bit more so the elbow's even tucked.
Kind of Wayne Turner-ish. It was a little kooky and.
Yeah, not as bad as Wayne Turner. His was an adjustment that had to be made. He'll benefit from it in the long run. In the short run, he's just got to get used to it. You know, and what I told him, if the greatest golfer, greatest maybe athlete in the history of the world, can change his golf swing twice, you certainly can make your adjustments on your jump shot.
All right, you storm back.
Tiger Woods, of course.
And of course, all right, you storm back in this game. Let's take a look at some video of this 17-2 run that put the game out of reach for Austin Peay.
Well, that's a good pass by T-Will, getting in the lane and getting Andre an open, uncontested shot. Here's T-Will again, getting Preston an uncontested shot.
He's their best defense right now.
Preston with a steal. Andre comes back. Samato with a follow, misses it. Preston again with a wide open shot.
They look patient.
Well, the key to our basketball team is taking uncontested shots and creating enough. We're a big assist team, and getting the uncontested shot is so imperative to what we do. There's the block shot.
When you get on a run, though, and people's adrenaline gets up, is it harder to keep them from taking challenge shots because they just want to keep running?
Well, they've got to learn to ball fake. That's the key. You know, we work diligently on getting ready to shoot. If the guy's running at you, ball fake and go by him and create a shot for someone else. You know, you keep a stat of how many times you get the ball in the paint and how many times you keep them out of the paint. So that's something that a lot of teams do, is how many times will you catch the ball in the paint, how many times will you drive the ball in the paint, because overall, if you can get into the paint and go inside to out, your offense will work much better.
It turned out to be a nice victory. The margin of victory was pretty wide, but it was a tight game there for, what, two-thirds of the game anyway.
Yeah, the final score was not indicative of Austin Peay's game, because that was a close ball game.
Indeed. All right, the Cards took on Mississippi on Thursday night. We're going to hear what Coach has to say about that game next. A little bit later on, too, we're welcoming Preston Knowles to the studio. Learn a little bit more about that sophomore sensation. All kinds of Kennedy names in the news this week. Andy Kennedy took over for Bob Huggins, of course, at Cincinnati, and now he's leading the Rebels of Ole Miss. The Cards and the Rebs met up in the SEC Big East Invitational on Thursday night, and here's what Coach Pitino had to say about the team's play.
We played awesome in the first 8 or 10 minutes. Then our guys lost confidence in Samato, maybe rightfully so, because he was playing so much below the rim, that they started taking quick jump shots. And as good as we were in the first 10, that's as bad as we were in the second 10. Now, granted, our defense was there the whole night. Earl Clark was spectacular. We rebounded well. And we made some big plays down the stretch. But we learned a valuable lesson in all of this is Samato has got to learn that if they're playing him great, and like I told him in the locker room, Samato, I've been telling you now for 2 months, play above the rim. Don't bring the ball down. I said, you know what the other coaches tell him on the board? This guy's shooting 62%. If any of you let him have a low post move without you reaching in, you're coming out of the game. You can't let a guy 62%, and Mato, you got to figure that out. It's the ultimate in respect, the fact that they paid so much attention to you, so you got to pass the ball, and more important, you got to play above the rim.
How does he have 18 points in the first 8 minutes, and then he went 12 minutes without getting a shot? It was like they forgot about him. Not only would they lose faith in Samato, but they stopped throwing him the basketball as well.
Well, I think what happened is they played a lot of zone, and they really shaded to Earl. They stopped him from catching the basketball. They went in and digged. Sometimes you have to give credit to the defense because you go in at halftime and you say, this guy's got 18 points. I mean, it's not going to be that easy coming out in the second half. So I thought he was doing a lot off the offensive glass. He got a little tired and didn't go to the glass as much. Rightfully so. He played so many minutes, did so many things. But you're right. But when you play zone, it's tougher to get him the ball at times.
Did you feel your team has grown from Western Kentucky to this game, playing away from Freedom Hall?
Well, no question about it. I think we made big-time plays by going inside to outside. And no matter how many times you get denied in the paint, You still have to go inside the paint. It's an offensive stat. You must go inside to out. Bobby, we're not a great shooting team unless we take open shots. And we're not a great shooting team unless we go inside to out where our rebounders are inside. Like the one shot that Preston Knowles took coming down on the break, that is so not us. It's just not us. That's them. We don't have a Huertas shooting 47% of difficult shots. So we learned an awful lot tonight. And now we go into, we're going to grow. We're getting better and better. We're not even a good team yet. I've had good teams and I've had great teams. You know, Walter McCarty's only walking through that door because he's an assistant coach. So it's just, you know, so we're growing though. And we want to be ready come January and February without taking losses. We learned so many things tonight that are going to help us grow. Played awesome 10 minutes. So how do we duplicate that?
Welcome back to Courtside with Coach Rick Pitino. That is Preston Knowles in the shot with us. Coach P, you have found some amazing shooters in your career over the years. And the story with Preston is a little bit different than usual, isn't it?
In recruiting him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really know about Preston. I have a friend in Lexington named Charlie Givens who loves Louisville, and he was my friend when I was in Lexington, called me up and says he has a player. And I said, okay, what's wrong with him? And the fact that he said, nah, he said he's a good guy, he just has a little bit of a temper. So I called him into my office, and from the start, the one thing about Preston, he's very honest. If he messes up, he tells you he messes up, and he tells you the truth. So I said, well, is there a problem with you, son? And he said to me, yeah, apparently I got a temper problem. I said, well, what happened? But he said, I eased it up my senior year because every time I would tap my head, the coach knew to take me out of the game because I was very upset. So I was laughing inside. I said this to him. I said, now, Preston, you try tapping your head with me, and I'll flat out kill you and send you home within 3 hours. And from that point on, we had a good relationship. I took him on somebody's word. We sent our assistant coaches to see him play. They thought he was talented. And it goes back to you can't judge a book by its cover.
Exactly.
You got to find out about the young person yourself. And he's been terrific to coach. Now, he's like any other young person. He could get in trouble from every now and then. But extremely honest, brings it all the time, proud to be a Louisville Cardinal, and I love coaching him.
We haven't even let you say a word yet. That was a pretty good rundown, though, wasn't it, Preston?
Yeah, it was perfect. I ain't gonna lie, yeah.
You're not gonna lie, you just said you know. I can't believe a guy with a pleasant smile like that and dimples could ever be a hothead.
Well, that was in the past.
That was right.
Basically.
I wouldn't want to cross him on the court if they allowed fighting, though.
Preston, you've gotten a lot of love lately. You had the poster inside the program and a cover of Louisville Sports Report. You hadn't even seen that yet. That feels pretty good, doesn't it? Is that nice to get a little extra attention?
I mean, hard work pays off. Like you see stuff like that, it just makes you want to work even harder. So. Just try to bring it every day, and hopefully more stuff like that will come.
Give me a sense of what it feels like when Coach P looks down and says, let's go, Preston, and then you're in, you're cold, ball's in your hands, and you're open. Do you feel nervous at all?
I'm not going to say yes, I'm not going to say no. It's just, you know what I'm saying, what you do it's my profession to play basketball right now. So my teammates do a good job of giving me the ball, so if I'm open, I'm going to shoot it. But when he calls on me, you know what I'm saying, it feel like when I come in, it's like, yeah, okay, I got to get my team going defensively, bring a spark to get everybody else energized and to elevate my game and everybody else's.
When you see him and Andre in together, to me, my confidence as a coach starts to rise when the both of them go in the game. I know the press, I know the defense, I know they're going to get after it. It's fun to watch on film, too. It looks like the two of them are 4 different people on the court.
You love playing D, don't you?
Oh, yeah, most definitely, because anybody can score, but not too many people can, buckle down, play defense, and disrupt a good offensive player.
Who pushed you when you were a kid, trying to learn the game, get better at the game?
Most definitely my cousin Cedric Tate, because he was an outstanding player. He just didn't get the opportunity to play. So when I played against him, I took it personal because he's always had offensive moves, talking trash and stuff, and that just got to me. So, and he always used to tell me, like, if you can guard me, you can guard anybody. So, you know what I'm saying? I kind of took that to heart, and that's how I looked, and went into every game. Like, if I can guard my cousin a little bit, I know he's not better than him. So, you know what I'm saying? I just got to play D.
Don't knock over the Christmas tree when you guys all get together over the holidays playing in the room there.
Oh, yeah, nah, he still
No balling in the house.
Yeah, he still sends me text messages talking stuff, you know, like, yeah, I'm ready for you, lifting weights and all this, so we'll see in the summer.
Now, growing up, were you a fan of Louisville, Kentucky, Weston? Who were you a fan of?
Honestly, I have to say, like, a little bit down south, I have to say, like, Wake Forest, Chris Paul. Honestly, I never really liked the UK. Ever. I don't know why. I just never liked the UK. Louisville, if I had to go to any school in Kentucky, it most definitely have to be Louisville.
So glad that worked out.
Really.
All right, Preston. Yeah. Great to have you on the show here. All
Fits in well, too, with not liking the UK.
That's right. And coming up next, it's time for Coach to answer some of your questions when Courtside with Rick Pitino continues. Time now for this week's Kroger Ask the Coach a question. Paul Rogers, buddy from the TV show Snake, is asking this one. Of all the players, Coach Pitino, that you've coached at the collegiate and professional level, who approached the game the most like you? Who got what you were trying to teach them right away?
That's an interesting question. Who got it right away? I would probably say Billy Donovan at Providence, John Pelfrey at Kentucky, and at Louisville, I would probably go with either Francisco or T-Will. They from a longevity standpoint, they got it the most. I mean, they really understood scouting and preparation and really paid attention to it. Bernard King at the pro level.
All right, naturally, there are some people who never do get it and wind up heading away somewhere. That's got to be a constant frustration for you when you start with somebody and it's like they're just
Well, Preston will tell you, what I tell my guys all the time is, if you think this preparation is taxing your mind a great deal, you should see what happens at the pro level. At the pro level, they don't practice as hard, but the film watching and the paying attention to little details is so much greater at that level than the collegiate level. Now, you just don't practice and work on your skills as much at that level because you're always playing games, but the preparation time is very taxing from a mental standpoint.
I guess it's taxing on you, too, though, to bring in freshmen every year because you're kind of starting anou each time.
The worst thing, Bobby Knight always says the best thing about a freshman is when he becomes a sophomore. He's really not talking about the physical abilities, but the problem with freshmen is they just don't understand the sophistication of playing for an opponent. In football, generally, they have redshirt a lot of freshmen because they're not ready mentally, they're ready physically. And don't you think it's very taxing to the person?
Oh, most definitely. Especially coming like out of high school, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't really watch that much film, and then you come into college, like you're watching film, you're preparing for the other opponents, you have the field goal percentages, free throws, everything. So you really have to buy into it mentally.
All right, appreciate that. And thank you, Snake, for the question. You made this show, too. If you have a question, someone other than Snake, you go to WHS11.com or cards at WHS11.com. Send it to us. You'll get a $25 gift card from Kroger if your question is used on the air. Now, you've seen us at halftime, Coach P and me, and now on SportsCenter. Way to go! We got it. We made it. We'll talk about our halftime.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, we made it, baby. The big show. Coming right back. Every game in the month of December at halftime, Coach Pitino and I have a pretty good time out there on the floor, and we've gotten a little national attention out of it. So we thought you'd like to see our little halftime hijinks.
You restacked the starting lineup. That gave you that right out of the burst. And
You know, to be honest with you, Terry, and I really mean this from everybody, starters are irrelevant. The only thing that's important is minutes played. If somebody's not, like you may say, now why an astute reporter like yourself would say, well, why isn't Preston Knowles playing? My answer would be it's not starting as he was hurt.
I didn't ask.
He was hurt this week because of his back and he missed practice. That's a legitimate question, but who's starting is irrelevant. Someone as astute as you should know that.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay.
That's my buddy right there. And Preston's okay. Bronco.
He is. He's got a cold, flu, and he went down there to get some shots of cortisone to clear him up.
Okay, Coach. Thanks, buddy.
I'm not telling you the truth.
Again, Coach P, east to west, your team looks good again tonight, don't they?
Playing good defense, Terry. I think the crowd's trying to sense a blowout, and that's not the game of basketball. Got to stay within our good defense. Earl's a little bit trying to impersonate a mannequin in Macy's early in the game, so we got to get him going.
I got you. The crowd did help, though, on that Ernie Grunfeld switcheroo at the free throw line.
The band helped. You didn't. The band helped. You were right there. You didn't even notice it.
I did. I was on top of it. Tough in the hole today, isn't it, Coach, in the paint?
It's a tough basketball team. I knew it going in. Got a veteran ball club. We knew it. Knew we'd have to play real well. The blowouts are over. Got to concentrate on every possession as if the game's on the line. This is not a typical S&P team. This is a really good basketball team.
And Louisville's free throw shooting naturally has to come up, too. I mean, they're missing so many now.
Thanks. That's very eloquent and intelligent coming from someone like yourself. I'm glad this is your last game because I've been taking these questions now for about 4 games. We got to get some lady out here to ask intelligent questions. And Merry Christmas to you.
She's coming to the next game. I told you she was coming up. He told me he was going to bust me on that. He was talking about Aaron Andrews. He can't stand at the free throw. They're missing so many free throws either. All right, we're coming back to Freedom Hall in a few minutes, and Aaron will be here the next game.
They wanted to leave me on camera long enough to see if I'd throw up from laughing.
I'm going to miss that.
I know, that was fun. See, we produce locally so many games during the early part of the season, and then a lot of these things are picked up nationally. So that's what I meant when I said I'm not
And then
doing-
when you prepare for your opponent, you're going over field goal offense, defense, press offenses, press defenses, and at the end, the last thing on my agenda is how can I get Terry as I'm walking off the court?
And somehow, because I've seen you, Preston, right at halftime, if coach needs to speak to a player, he'll say, come here, blah, 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 and then you will compose yourself because you think, I got to do that TV thing.
No, what happens is Preston just turned the ball over, or he shot it with 8 seconds. Get to the locker room, I'm going to kill you. Hey, Terry, it's a good half.
Get to the locker room, I'm going to kill you. That never happens, does it, Preston? It's always
Not
sweet
to
in
him,
there at
good.
halftime.
Actually,
Yeah,
I did go 1-4 with you, and you shot it, but you missed it, right?
Which one?
At half, right before half, we went a 1-4 on baseline
Yeah.
and isolated you. I know what he's going to do. He's going to shake it, go right to left and shoot a jump shot, and that's what I was hoping he'd take a 3. Andre usually dribbles off his foot. Edgar goes into 9 people, tries to bowl him over and make the shot. So you know what they're going to do.
Hey, we had a great time today. I am going to miss it. We'll be back next year. We just have to think up a new gag instead of fighting.
I'm a little disappointed that you don't have any TV games during the Big East Conference.
Sorry
None.
about that. It's a
Yeah.
contractual
Fork
thing.
up
We'll
some
have to
more money.
wrestle it.
I know times
Preston,
are tough.
glad to have you on the show today. Coach P, good luck out in Phoenix today, guys.
Thank you.
And we will see you again next Saturday here on Courtside with Rick Pitino. Let's go, Cards!